everyone, and welcome to another video. Denise would like to introduce you to possibly one of the rudest, most bad-tempered scammers we've had in a while, who likes to call himself Dr. Norman Blanco, although strangely enough, his Facebook page also thinks he's called Donald Patrick. You know, confused, not unusual for scammers. "Hi," he said. "Good morning." "Okay, hello my beautiful queen, how are you doing? Nice meeting you here on Facebook, and I'd be glad if you could spend some of your time with me and become good friends in sincerity and honesty," said no real person ever. And if the person that you're talking to online tells you that they want to be honest, truthful, sincere, then you know you're talking to a scammer, because that simply isn't something that a real person would ever say. "What an odd thing to say. Are you usually insincere and dishonest?" "I really want us to be honest in our communication, because I know we all believe that here in social media it's hard to find honest and truthful person nowadays. But with time we can share ideas and discuss more about each other, because that will bring more understanding between us, okay?" "Okay, that tells me that you aren't usually honest. This could be fun. So if I may ask, where are you from, and which country are you presently living in now at the moment?" "Presently now at the moment at this time right now I live in Guildford." "Oh, really?" "Yes, really. I'm from United States of America, California, USA by nationality, but I work under the UN Humanitarian Aid here in Chicago Camp." You're going to love Chicago Camp later on in the video, if you don't live in Chicago and you don't know what it is. "What and where is Chicago Camp?" "Camp Douglas." "Sorry to ask you this. How old are you? And are you married with kids? We'll have a map later." "What is Camp Douglas? And where is it?" "Not answering anything else until you tell me where you are." "Am a bone anatomy doctor." Brackets, an orthopaedic specialist, orthopaedic surgeon. "Oh dear. Can't you read? I guess you got one of those online doctor diplomas. You know, the ones. Get your authentic certified doctor qualification here, no study needed." And in reply to her saying, "Where is Camp Douglas?" he said, "Indiana Dunes State Park." "What do you mean?" in reply to her saying about the online study. And then he repeated, "Sorry to ask of this. How old are you, and are you married with kids?" "Hello, my beautiful queen. How are you doing? Why do people in Indiana need UN humanitarian aid? I'm 75 and I'm a widow with 2 children and 4 grandchildren. Okay, I'm 60 years old now. I'm a medical, due to the nature of my work. I'm a neurologist," said our orthopaedic surgeon. "As well as a surgeon, I work under the UN Humanitarian Aids here in Chicago, here in the hospital. I'm a private doctor, and I signed a contract with the UN staff for 2 years and 8 months, and just 5 weeks left for me to finish my contract and return back to my home. I have no idea what I'm a medical due to the nature of my work means. Could you explain, please?" "I'm a bone anatomy doctor," said our neurologist. "Well, yeah, I'm confused. Sure, it doesn't matter. An orthopaedic specialist, orthopaedic surgeon. I'd be open-minded and spend more time for us to introduce ourselves to each other, because that will bring more understanding between us, OK, 6. "Bone anatomy doctor. That's a new one," said Denise. "It's a pleasure meeting you here on Facebook," he said, going back to the beginning of his script, obviously. "So if you don't mind, can you tell me more about yourself and family background? Like, you married or single? You know what I mean, right?" "I'm a widow with 2 children and 4 grandchildren. I'm sure I already told you that. You still haven't told me why people in Indiana need UN humanitarian aid. Well, if you ask ChatGPT or Claude or Genesis or whoever it is the right question, you will get an answer." And so our man got an answer. I wanted to take a moment to shed light on the pressing need for UN humanitarian aid in Indiana, an issue that may not be immediately apparent to many. Despite being a state with significant resources, Indiana faces a range of challenges that can lead to humanitarian crises. Economic disparities have left many communities struggling with poverty, food insecurity and inadequate access to healthcare. Rural areas in particular often lack essential services and resources, making it difficult for residents to meet their basic needs. Additionally, Indiana has experienced natural disasters, such as floods and severe storms, which have devastated local economies and infrastructure. The recovery process can be slow, and leaves vulnerable populations at risk of long-term hardship. UN humanitarian aid can play a vital role in addressing these issues by providing much-needed support in areas such as disaster response, food assistance and healthcare services. This aid can help bridge the gap for communities that are often overlooked and ensure that all residents have the opportunity to thrive. It is crucial that we recognise and support the need for humanitarian assistance in Indiana, as it can lead to strengthened communities and a more resilient future for all. And just to prove that AI will answer any question you ask it, I asked OpenAI, why is humanitarian aid needed in Indiana? I'm not going to read you the reply, but if you're interested, just pause the video. It's very similar to what our man said. I didn't realise that the situation in Indiana was so bad that the US needed to call on outside aid. It's a personal contract and you should learn to trust me on this chat. I don't like it when someone keeps doubting my words and I'm not here for jokes. Well, I'm a Roman Catholic by religion. Let me tell you about my marital status. 4 years ago, I divorced my wife because she's been cheating on me each time I travel out for contract. And whenever I return back, she pretends as if nothing until I arrive from Korea and find out that she was 3 months pregnant. The last time we had sex before I went to Korea was more than a year already. I ask her in anger to tell me who's responsible for that inside her stomach. Then she confessed she's been cheating on me each time I travel out of the country. That's very rude, said Denise, in reply to him telling her to learn to trust him. And in reply to him saying, I don't like it when someone doubting my words, she said, I didn't say I was doubting you. Interesting comment. I said I wasn't aware of how bad the situation is. There's no need to be bloody rude about it. How was I supposed to know until you told me? Have you done a lot of travelling? For sure. And you? Excuse me. Are you just going to pretend you weren't rude to me and hope I won't notice your lack of apology? You've already got it. That's why I skipped off. Where? Let's continue this conversation. Let's chat like adults. We're mature enough to correct our errors ourselves. Besides, I'm a man, not a woman. I beg your pardon? That's even ruder. You're a very unpleasant man, aren't you? Goodbye. I can only apologise when I know that I offended you so much, not on this early conversation. I should bloomin' well think so, said Denise, sounding like my own grandmother. You already got my words from the beginning. You're beautiful. Yes, that's who you are. You don't just get mad at someone that way. If those are examples of your behaviour, you seriously need to work on your attitude towards women. Are you a small village misogynist? You don't just be so rude to a lady you don't even know that way, she said, mimicking him. Well, I'm not rude. Please F off and go and annoy someone else on your own level. It's just the real me. I don't pretend on chats. Well, you're one of the rudest, most unpleasant men it's ever been my misfortune to meet. You get the right attitude if nature permits us to meet one day. So you are genuinely a rude misogynist. Go away and annoy someone else. Please feel free to talk to yourself. You'll make an episode of failures, but Denise lied, because he's got his own video. You get mad at me so quick. LOL, you're too cute to get mad at me. Hey, pretty, let's talk about something important now. Are you there? Go on, think of something important to tell me. So I'm handed. How's the weather condition over there in your country now? He said. So Denise copied and pasted the BBC weather forecast for Guildford. Hope that helps. What's the weather condition in Indiana? He said, copying a screenshot. Now 29 degrees. That doesn't tell me where it's the weather conditions for. I mean, you know, Indiana's quite a big place, and he's already said he's in Chicago, hasn't he? Yeah, I know Illinois and Indiana are joined, but I'll show you a map later. And what's the time there? That doesn't tell me where that's the weather conditions for. There are lots of places where it's 29 degrees. It's almost 5:30. Okay, that doesn't tell me where that's the weather conditions for. There are lots of places where it's 29 degrees. Will I have to keep repeating myself? Or will you tell me? Place your bets now, ladies and gentlemen. It's 11:30 a.m. here. I guess I will have to keep repeating myself. It does get very tedious, said Denise, repeating herself. So he copied another screenshot saying 29 degrees, Tuesday. Oh dear, I guess I'll have to say it again. 5th time, I think. So she repeated herself. Will I have to keep repeating myself? Or will you tell me? I already sent you the currently weather now. Let's make it 6 times. That doesn't tell me where that's the weather condition for. There are lots of places where it's 29 degrees. Are you able to read? For sure. Awesome. If you can read, please read what I said. And don't make me ask again. To which a man replied, it's 29 degrees here, and what else you're? Here we go for the 7th time, she said, repeating herself. Please read that before typing a silly answer. I told you. I'm here in Chicago camp. Why asking when you already knows where I am? Awesome. You could just have said that's the weather for Chicago camp the first time I asked. Why not answering the first time I asked? You've moved since this morning. You were in Indiana earlier today. I thought you already knew where I am. I only know what you tell me. Earlier today you were in Indiana, she said, copying where he'd said Indiana Dunes State Park. You said that. Was that not true? I'm from Indiana, working here in Chicago camp, that's all. So you aren't in Indiana. Why did you tell me you are? I don't even know what Chicago camp means. Neither does our man, but you'll find out in a minute. Is it the name of a place? Or did you make it up? I can't find it on a map. Hey, you don't know military camp in Chicago? You Googled? Why chatting? Now that I'm talking to you, you're now ignoring as if you aren't seeing my message. Why would I? She said in reply to him saying, don't you know military camp in Chicago? You said you were in Indiana. Don't be so bloody rude. In reply to him saying she was ignoring him, I went into the kitchen to make myself something to eat. You really are an obnoxious man, aren't you? Now that I'm talking to you, she said, copying him. Why are you now ignoring as if you aren't seeing my messages? Why do you think I would know about it? Is it in the centre of the city? In reply to him saying, don't you know military camp? I'm so sorry for my late reply. I'm in the office, so are you still there with me right now? Yes, said Denise the next morning, waiting for an answer, please. 1, why do you think I would know about military camp in Chicago? 2, where is it? In Chicago or in Indiana? To which our man gave that usual scammer response. Have you been to Chicago before? Irrelevant answer, said Denise. You're good in asking much questions. Where is your camp? Is it in Chicago or is it in Indiana? Simple question. I told you, Chicago. Then why did you tell me Indiana? She said, copying Indiana Jones. No, she didn't. Copying Indiana Dunes State Park. It's a keyboard mistakes in typing, though. Obviously, easy mistake to make. Well, then why didn't you just say that instead of being a bloody rude, narcissistic jerk? Now I've told you Chicago, then take it that way. Stop being so rude. Okay. You really are a ghastly man, aren't you? Is it in the city centre somewhere? Yes. Like I say, map coming up. Okay. Did they demolish some skyscrapers to put up tents and make a camp? Our man came up with an address in Chicago. And now it's time for that map. This is the address he gave. This is the view on Street View. You'll see it's an apartment block. And in the front, there's a shop that says camp. I'll show you that in a minute. So that's Chicago camp. If you're looking at a map, you'll see the border between Indiana on the right and Illinois on the left. It does actually run through the bottom of the city of Chicago. The bit that he's talking about is in Illinois. What about that Dunes Park? Well, that is over here in Illinois, Indiana Jones. No, I see I've said it again. Indiana Dunes State Park. And just for completeness, that red point marks the location of Camp Douglas. Let's see how far it is from Chicago. It's 300 kilometres from Chicago. And if, like me, you're wondering what Chicago camp is, well, I put that address into Google. This is Camp Chicago. It's a shop. It's the store with the magic door in the Windy City. With immersive shows, crafting activities and the best gifts in the world, Camp Chicago has everything you need for an unforgettable family experience. Don't be so totally moronic, said Denise, who'd put the address into Google Maps but hadn't actually Googled it, if you see what I mean. That's an apartment block, not a military camp. You sure you know what you're talking about? Or are you making up silly stories? That's where I work. I don't know what you're talking about. So you aren't in a military camp. It's you that keeps changing their story. It's same boundary with the military camp. Why should I be making stories? You've been in Chicago and Illinois. You've been in Camp Douglas, Chicago camp and some dunes. Oh, why can't you just take my words instead of much interview? No, it isn't, she said, in reply to him saying same boundary with military camp. It's an apartment complex on a street in Chicago. Why can't you tell me something believable instead of much silly stories? Please tell me properly, like a mature doctor, where you are. Are you in Indiana, Chicago, Camp Douglas, Chicago Camp, or Indiana Jones? No, done it again. Or Indiana Dunes State Park? The proper answer, please. Like a mature doctor, not like a bad-tempered bullying kid. Your next answer will tell me if you're a mature man or a mogo kid. Choose it very, very carefully. Oh, my word, said Denise after I'd actually found Camp Chicago. I've found Camp Chicago. You aren't a doctor, are you? You're a shop assistant. I knew there was something you weren't telling me. Is that why you were being so horrible? Because you knew I'd find out. How? Asked our befuddled scammer. I used Google. You did give me the address. OK. What's the address, not Chicago? Oh dear. Were you too dim to put the address into Google and see what it is? OK, that's to show you where I am. So that is the shop where you work. Why did you tell me a silly story about being a neurosurgeon and then a bone surgeon? You can't just decide if I'm right or wrong when you aren't here in person. Silly answer. You're working in a shop. Are you really too stupid to put that address in Google and find out where you work? Listen, don't repeat this stuff. I assume that means yes, you are. Why didn't you tell me you work in a shop? Due to the nature of my work, I'm a neurologist as well as a surgeon. I work under the UN Humanitarian Aids here in Chicago. You know this one, rewind back to the beginning. Here in the hospital, I'm a private doctor and I signed a contract with the UN staff for 2 years and 8 months. It's just 5 weeks left for me to finish my contract and return back to my home. And he sent a photograph of a man wearing a doctor's outfit. Stop repeating yourself like a record. You work in a shop, unless you really are too dim to know what that address you gave me is. Now you're a neurologist in a hospital, not an orthopaedic surgeon in a camp. Did you change careers while we were talking? Did the shop sack you? So what do you mean? I'm telling you my right job of question me whose right you have. I mean your mate thinks you're an orthopaedic surgeon, she said, copying where one of them had said, I'm a bone anatomy doctor, an orthopaedic specialist, orthopaedic surgeon. You tell me you work in a hospital, but your mate gave me the address of a shop, she said, pasting the address of the shop. Only one of you can be right. I need you to know something very important. I can hardly wait. You're a pathological teller of untruths. Your mate was too daft to read what you said. There are some imposters impersonation to be on the internet using my picture, and I need you to know that because I have already reported them to the FBI agent and they are working on it to get them, but know that whenever you see anyone, please do block and report them OK. You can rearrange those words. You might get a sentence, who knows? That is totally irrelevant. I was talking to you. Here. What do you need to know about me? The truth? I could guess. I'd be open-minded and spend more time for us to introduce ourselves to each other because that will bring more understanding between us, OK, 6? Guess what? Stop typing, illiterate twaddle. Tell me who you really are, please. I was introduced into Facebook and WhatsApp by a friend who got married to a lady from your country with an uppercase C. They're happily married and blessed with kids. He meant the lady from Facebook. My children has been disturbing me to re-get married again, that they missed motherly love and care, which I explained to that friend and directed me to the site. Which country's that? Just focus on me, and I'll be glad and happy to talk to you all the time. With that, we will know more about each other, because that will bring more understanding between us, OK? Which country is my country? The one where your friend met his wife, or is that another untruth? Well, I'm a Roman Catholic by religion. Let me tell you about my marital status. 4 years ago, I divorced my wife because she's been cheating on me each time I travel out for contract. And whenever I return back, she pretends as if nothing until I arrive from Korea, you know all this one, and find out that she was 3 months pregnant, and the last time we had sex before I went to Korea was more than a year already. I ask her in anger to tell me who is responsible for that inside her stomach. Then she confessed that she's been cheating on me each time I travel out of the country. You already copied and pasted that. Next. Which country is my country? The one where your friend met his wife. I'm beginning to think you're unable to read. What do you mean? I replied to her, saying he'd already copied and pasted that. What I said. You copied and pasted that exact same paragraph before, about the same time yesterday. So she copied and pasted where he said it. Which country is my country? The one where your friend met his wife, or is that another fairy story? I've already told you that, said our man who had no idea. So tell me, how long have you joined Facebook and WhatsApp? Have you been in any relationship with anyone on Facebook and WhatsApp ever since you joined it? Which is exactly what you ask a random lady, obviously. No, you haven't. You don't know, do you? You were making up fairy stories. I don't believe you. So she copied what he'd said. I was introduced into Facebook and WhatsApp by a friend who got married to a lady from your country. That's what you said. So she copied again. Stop typing illiterate twaddle. Tell me who you really are, please. To which our man replied, hello there. Yes, hello. Are you going to answer my questions like a mature adult or ignore me like a small boy? No, I didn't think so. You could call me and explain, or I'll call you. I wonder if you'll be too cowardly to answer. Let's see. So she did, and he was. Like I thought, too much of a twaddle-dum to answer. Let me guess where you are really. Lagos? If you say where is that place, I'll know I was right first time. To which our man replied, you know that I use a nylon machine to chat with you in the office. I have no idea what he meant. ROFL. What on God's green earth is a nylon machine? A Lagos invention, I guess. So he sent a photograph of a doctor sitting in a chair. That does not tell me what a nylon machine is, fool. In the office, in my work, so that I cannot make a call if you want to call me privacy or less saggy. I've no idea what that even means. What is a nylon machine? How many times will I have to ask? I use a desktop machine to chat with you. Made of nylon. So he sent a little emoji of a computer screen. Oddly enough, I think you'll find you can use a desktop to answer calls, but you're too cowardly to do it. I'll try once more. If you don't answer, you'll be blocked. No! Yes, blocked, he said, echoing what Denise had threatened him with. So she tried him again. You have a count of 10 to call me before I block you. He took over the count. And so, Denise said, I'm amazed you can even count, and did as she said she'd do, and blocked him. I think this might be one of the most confused scammers I've ever encountered. So I hope you enjoyed his random ramblings. If you did, please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to support the channel, you can tap on the super thanks button underneath this video, and I'll see you again, maybe with a less confused scammer, who knows.